All right, welcome to the podcast this week. As I told you last week, this is the second day of the WrestleCon event, done live in San Jose as part of the WrestleCon festivities. I got so much wonderful feedback on Twitter and from all you guys about how fun last week's podcast was, so I'm glad you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed these 2 weeks, you're going to love Edinburgh live podcast. So much fun. So this is going to be a good one this week. Before we do get into this, I have a little housekeeping. Hey, can you guys all do something quick and easy for me? Please take a survey for me. Unlike some of the other wrestling podcasters, I am not a millionaire, and the advertising from this podcast helps like ridiculous. So I've been doing this for 5 years now for free. I've never threatened to charge or anything like that. And if you've enjoyed it for 5 years, if you could take a quick survey, podsurvey.com/Colt. Takes less than 5 minutes, and the survey is completely anonymous. You don't have to put your email in. You're not going to get spammed. They are giving away a $100 Amazon gift card once a month. So if you do want to put your email in, that's the only reason they'll have it. A lot of you guys took this before, and I appreciate it. If you could just do it again, they have a new updated version. This helps advertisers realize who you guys are and helps fit advertisers with this podcast, which is great. Companies like Bombas and Harry's and Tops, it just makes so much sense, and it's so appreciated. podsurvey.com/Colt. 5 minutes, real easy. Thank you. We're about to jump into this week's podcast. Before we do, though, I do have some plugs and
upcoming events.
All right, the best way to support ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana, Facebook/AOW Podcast and Colt Cabana. ColtWrestling@gmail.com is my very public email. CutMyPromo.com is my YouTube series. Did you see Punk cutting a promo this week? Still got that gift to gab. ColtCabana.com is my website. I got a P.O. box. Send me some snail mail. A package from China came this week, and it was a starter's kit for children with chopsticks. Felt like a real toddler. Also a great Subway gift card. Thanks for sending that. Upcoming events, Friday, June 12th, I'm going to be in Munich, Germany, WXW-wrestling.com. Saturday, June 13th, Bremen, Germany, EPW-Catch-Cup.com. Sunday, June 14th, London, England, RevolutionProWrestling.com. Friday, June 19th, Tokyo, Japan, Noah.co.jp. Sunday, June 28th, Providence, Rhode Island, Facebook/Beyond Wrestling. Friday, July 10th, Waterloo, Iowa, as part of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. NWHOF.org. Saturday, July 11th, New Albany, Indiana, Facebook/Round Peg Promotions. Sunday, July 12th, Houston, Texas, ClutchCityProductions.com. Friday, July 17th, Marionette Park, Illinois, AAWrestling.com. Saturday, July 18th, Clinton Township, Michigan, XICWDetroit.com. July 25th and 26th, The Gathering of the Juggalos in Thornville, Ohio. And August 7th through the 31st, I'm going to be in Edinburgh, Scotland, the Fringe Festival. Tickets for the comedy show, thestand.co.uk. Tickets for the live podcast and the ICW wrestling shows at insanewrestling.co.uk. Thank you for supporting live independent wrestling. Thank you for supporting me. And enjoy the show from a parking lot in San Jose, California.
This is the art of wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana. It's Colt Cabana.
All right, how you guys doing? Come on in, sit down, relax. You're about to listen to the art of wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway into the minds, souls, hearts, and lives involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. Hello. I am a man who is going to swear in front of no children. The children have all been removed. Perfect. Thanks for that. I'm a con man, a con artist. I'm not Rob Conway. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and I'm not sitting here live in my studio. Nope, I'm on some gravel in a truck stop somewhere in San Jose at WrestleCon 2015 in front of a live kind of studio audience. Hello, everybody. Before I go any further, this is where I would edit it out and start over again. And before I go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported podcast supported by people just like you. We give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you could support. Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend via social media. If you guys want to tweet out these pictures, Instagram these pictures, hashtag everybody, and such and so forth. I know my friend in the NWO shirt who got high with RVD last night is on his Instagram right now. Sending out the word. That is great ways to do it. Or if a couple, I guess the main way you want to do it, Marty, head on over to coltmerch.com, digitalcolt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads, episodes 1 through 35. My friend Mohammed right there is showing you the DVDs that he has bought and that he has not illegally downloaded, he told me, thankfully for him. Or you want to come see us at coltmerch.table, I will be in there at the conning you into some money in my pocket for some bullshit pictures that I have that aren't even worth 10 cents.
Really selling it there.
It's about the experience, Marty.
So. I love how you go. The guy who was in the NWO shirt smoking weed with Rob Van Dam last night, that narrows it down to about 100 people. Not exactly like, oh, him. Oh, no, that's still like 100 people.
To my left will be, we're going to make this a dual podcast, if you will. My sidekick, my chum, my friend. Please welcome Marty DeRosa over here.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
For years now, a lot of you guys have known us together in the comedy world, so why not do a live show with Marty, hanging out, chime in when you want.
Thank you.
When I run out of questions for people, like when I asked Magnus last week, when I said, hey, what would be a good question I could ask you?
Yeah, that was some amazing investigative journalism.
Thank you.
So what should I ask you?
Yeah.
Very, very interesting style of interviewing.
It goes Gorilla Monsoon, me, and Mike Tenay in that order. I feel.
There you go.
And then Vampiro, sure. Why not? Marty, let's before we get some guests up here. You've been hanging around with me at the table, and you notice right away most of the material of what is asked to me or towards me. Am I right?
Every time people come up to Cabana, there are there's this group of questions that I hear over and over and over again that I think you must hear in your sleep.
Yes.
When you're falling asleep, you must hear these same questions. Some of you guys are awesome, and like you'll come up.
Most of you guys are
love
awesome.
No, I shouldn't say some of you guys. 3 of you guys. No, most people.
That dude was cool.
That dude, you, that chick back there. No, most people are very cool. But every once in a while you'll get, and I can like see it happening. Like you ever see like someone's walking into a wall and they're not paying attention. They're like, all right, I'll see you later. And you're like, that guy's gonna walk into a wall, and you don't say, hey, you're gonna walk into a wall. You're just like, I want to watch this. That's what happens a lot of times when people come over to colttable.merch, and you'll just see these guys, and they'll just start saying stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, man, here we go.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I wrote a couple of down, if you guys would like to hear them. Some of you may be guilty of this being you. One guy said to me, I've never seen you wrestle, but, like, you seem like a nice guy.
Yeah. And they like kind of look around and see all your like posters and T-shirts, and then it's like, haven't seen you wrestle, but you seem like a decent dude.
Seem all right. A girl said to me she was getting like hyperactive and she couldn't believe it, and it was like, oh, this is so cool. Like you probably listen to the podcast and you probably seen like my online stuff with Marty, and she's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm like, oh, and that for me, that's a great moment when you're like, oh my god, and she goes, oh my god, this is the closest I'm gonna ever get to CM Punk. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a human being, right?
Gotta feel good. Gotta feel good.
This was one that I think, this is, so when it gets to a point where I'm just kind of over it, because I think 80% is Punk questions.
Can we reenact the one?
Sure, sure.
All right, here we go. So this guy comes up to, and he just goes, this is after numerous of the, hey, this is the closest I'll ever get to CM Punk. And the guy just comes up, and he's kind of just like looking like, so, how's CM Punk?
Oh, no, he's dead.
So he's doing good. Cool. Then he walked away.
That was a reenactment.
That was a real situation that happened here. Cool.
Never seen you. Some guy said, I've never seen you wrestle. And he goes, oh, wait, maybe I did.
And then he goes, were you on that iPay-per-view 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And then I always like when people say they've watched me on my podcast. Like, oh, I watch your podcast.
Didn't someone say they loved you on Jericho's podcast?
Yeah.
Oh,
someone might be guilty over here.
You're the best on Jericho's podcast. You've never on Jericho's
You were
podcast.
great on Talk is Jericho. It's like, I've never been on Talk is Jericho. Who would I have been?
The drummer from some Jewish heavy metal band.
Yes. So
Steel Star of David.
I would like to see. Do they have the steel, like the Rasta steel drums too?
Those big like
Yeah.
girls. I call those the Girls Gone Wild drums because that's what I'd hear on the commercial. So
that's like if there he is. I was gonna say if RF Video had a special, it'd be like I feel he would put the Girls Gone Wild drums in the background.
I love those drums.
RF, you kind of look like the
RF.
He kind of looks like the Girls Gone Wild guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He also went to jail for many years, I feel. All right. We'll get off of that. Let's welcome a guest.
All right.
Let's welcome a guest. I say we got a lot of fun guests coming up. You guys excited for a fun live show? Yeah, let's get this started with one of my favorite human beings in the whole wide world. He was known on TV as Spanky, but he was also the man who beat me in my WWE debut. Please welcome Brian Kendrick to the ring/stage. Yay. It's a big, long thing. You don't even have to take the stairs. You could just roll in. Why? I should probably edit all this out.
Let's start one more time. Clap there.
And hey, Brian Kendrick.
Hooray for me.
He's here.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Hey, talking to that microphone.
Yeah, my voice is darn near gone.
What happened?
I was at Hood Slam the last 2 nights, bro. Batman got the better of me.
Can we all do a collective aw together? Hold on, say it again. Say that one more time.
So I was at Hood Slam, bro, and Batman got the better of me.
Aww.
I appreciate the sympathy.
Not Batman well.
Yeah, Batman and his partner in crime, Butternuts, the stuffed horse.
Can you explain these men?
Well, Batman is in fact a human.
Disappointing.
Yeah, but Butternuts is in fact a stuffed horse. And the last 6 or so matches I've wrestled at Hood Slam, I've all lost thanks to interference from Butternuts, the stuffed horse. But yesterday, I ripped his stomach open and I bit his guts out and I danced in it as I flung it over my head.
To a roaring approval?
No, they like Butternuts.
Who doesn't like Butternuts?
Because they're a bunch of hipster idiots.
Is that a reference to Half-Baked? Butter stuff? Butternuts?
Maybe it is. I don't really think Half-Baked's all that great.
Get off the stage. You don't think Half-Baked is that great?
I know, and then I know some people think I've smoked weed before, and then you would think that maybe I'd really like Half-Baked, but I don't like Half-Baked.
But you've definitely smoked weed before.
I'm not going to say
Right,
this.
I'm sorry about that. That was
But yes, I've
that's
definitely
edited
smoked
right
weed.
off.
I've definitely smoked lots of weed before, and no, it's not. It's no Cheech and Chong. It's no Harold Kumar.
So tell me about this Hood Slam. Like, you've been championing Hood Slam since day one. I saw, and I've never wrestled for them, but it's like, and this isn't my way of being like, hey, Hood Slam, I'd like to wrestle for you, but hey, Hood Slam, I'd like to wrestle for you. Like, I saw a piece on the news, like, where there's like 1,000 people packed into this like industrial building, if you will, and like, if anything, that's everything I believe in terms of like. Because now, like, man, I don't want to say anything with you here, but like, you know, like NXT is turning into like trying to be like. Someone made a great reference today of like, if Hot Topic was like, that's like at the Indies, like, hey, look, we're the Indies now, but it's, you know. So I know you don't want to say anything on that.
I know what you're saying. It's more similar to the fast-paced indie style.
Right.
It's evolving.
But also that aura, right? I mean, I don't know. You tell me of just like. Who gives a fuck? We're gonna do whatever we want. Yeah. Tell me about, like, sell me on Hood Slam a little bit, I guess.
Well, shit, man. I'm wrestling Link, the hero of Hyrule, tonight. There's a fucking wrestling Link, man. What more do you need?
Like
to
from
know?
Zelda?
Yeah, 100% from Zelda. He shoots arrows. He's got a boomerang, a sword, for real.
And you've told me that are you always Brian Kendrick there?
Yeah, I guess myself is so bizarre that, but no, I'm just Brian Kendrick, the wrestler, wrestling against Drugs Bunny and Blanca.
Drugs Bunny.
Yeah, and all sorts.
How about the
of
Stoner brothers, Rick
The
Stoner and Scott
brothers
Stoner?
have beaten the ever living hell out of me
Yeah.
before as well. Yeah.
That's got to be a weird thing where you're like, so what do you guys have for me? And they're like, you'll just be yourself. Like,
Yeah.
what weird name or character do you have for me? Oh no, you'll just be Brian Kendrick.
Oh, we're known as the weirdest company of all time,
yeah.
giving the weirdest characters, and you'll be Frank.
Yeah. Not a lot of wrestlers can say, like, in the past month they've wrestled Finn Balor and Butternuts the horse. You know? It's
All right,
quite.
yeah,
You have an
all right.
eclectic opponent roster.
Yeah. Life's not so bad.
Yeah, right. You beat me in my debut
Yeah.
as Scotty Goldman.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever talked about that on this kind of thing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive.
Oh, really? But that's my career. It's me looking back on why it all went wrong, and I'm looking for answers.
Yeah.
I said, Marty noticed this, okay? This is literally these 3 or 4 stoner dudes, like, they were party stoners, like LA dudes, would you call them, Marty?
Who is this?
The guys that yesterday, or last week for who's ever listening at home.
last week.
They were like, we love you, Colt. We get drunk and high and watch $5 wrestling and all
those
your
guys
stuff.
were amazing.
Yeah, and then he's like, how come you never made it in WWE? What the hell? What the fuck? And then, me, again, always looking for answers. I'm looking for that answer. That's the only reason. It is counterintuitive, but I'm like, well, Bruce Pritchard was on the booking team, and he's right over there. So why don't you go ask him?
And he gladly said, okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, he
ran away.
And he goes, what the fuck, Pritchard? Why didn't you book Cabana better? And of course, politically, Bruce Pritchard said, who's the higher-ups? And he was the highest of the higher-ups, I feel, at that time. So why didn't I make it?
Do you want me to say it's because you're Jewish?
Okay.
Is that what you want to hear? Is that what you hear? It's a bunch of anti-Semites.
I'm looking for something
Is that
here.
what it is?
I'm looking for something.
Yeah,
No, I'm not really. We don't have to talk about it.
I mean, look, man, you're great. If it was up to me, yeah.
No, I don't even want to talk about this.
But, yeah,
No.
okay.
Were you other people's debuts? Because, God, you were there a long time.
No, but yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It does gotta feel like a punch in the guts when your debut is a loss to like a longtime jobber. You know what I mean? Like, man, this isn't gonna go well.
Yeah, right.
You know?
What was your debut? What was one of you had 2 debuts, did you not?
Yeah, I wrestled under a hood as the Diamondback against Sho Funaki, and then I
Wait, that was on TV?
Velocity at the time.
And they gave the diamond. They're like, "Ooh, Diamondback's gonna be."
What did Diamondback wear? What was?
Well, he wore a mask because we were in Arizona.
Okay.
So I was the local mascot.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the River Rat. That was whatever the.
That was your first debut?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to have to wear like really bad outfits.
Were you other things on Velocity of other teams?
Yeah. I definitely remember the River Rat. I was a penguin somewhere, so I even had like an orange nose. I have that mask still. There's about a half dozen.
Wow,
really.
I can sell that for $500 in Japan if you want me to. That penguin
I was
man.
gonna
Give
say
me $50 for it. I'll pay.
you could come to WrestleCon and be like Brian Kendrick, and then the Diamondback,
Yeah.
the River Rat.
Yeah, because today they were announcing like Mick Foley will be taking autographs.
Yeah.
Cactus Jack will be autographs.
If you missed the River Rat, he will be back at the end when he is no longer the Chicago Cub, and you can take a photo with him then.
Kendrick, you're known for having a fun, eclectic mind. Is that a fun way to say it?
I'll take it. That sounds nice.
What was? Do you have anything that comes to mind of like an idea you pitched to the higher ups that was like one of these craziest things, and they're like, "Brian, you're crazy."
One that didn't get very far. I wanted to use. I wanted to try a storyline where I convinced the Big Show that I was like a Great Gazoo type character, where only he could see me. But of course, everybody could see me. But the circumstances would be that. He thinks only he can see me. That didn't make it past 30 seconds of talking.
Can you tell me the pitch to like the writer how it goes?
Yeah.
Like if Marty's the writer, Marty,
yeah.
why don't you?
Okay. Hey, Brian. What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah,
Any
you got a
ideas?
few seconds of your time.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So you ever seen the Flintstones before? You familiar with
Absolutely.
the
We're
Great
working with
Gazoo?
them in a couple of years.
So yeah, so picture Big Show as Fred,
Mm-hmm.
me as Great Gazoo, and you're off.
Okay. I'm going to go run this by Vince, and should be no problem.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
And then you leave, and they hit a button on his phone. We need to drug test Brian Kendrick.
And they did.
Brian Kendrick is never allowed to talk to us again. Thank you very much. Cool, man. What else is going on with you? What's the next steps for everything? Oh, you got a school.
I got a school, so that's what I do during the week. And then, just trying to make stuffed animals come to life. In the
Yeah, I love the idea, but like, it's not a wrestling school. He just has his own community college.
School, yeah.
It's a BK.
We give you the
JU.
skills to make it in life.
Yeah.
But honestly, though, like if you're gonna go to college and spend all this money to not get a job,
Yeah.
spend $2,000. Go to wrestling school.
Might as well go to wrestling school.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Like, if you go to some community college, your professor just might be some jackoff, right? Your professor, when you gave your money to your wrestling school.
Wow, it's me.
No, it was Shawn Michaels.
Oh, I'm lost.
I set you up for that one.
Not just any jagoff. Shawn Michaels.
Oh, wait. Well, when I paid money, it was Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
So now when you train, do you feel you should wear jeans that go like way up past your belly button and wear like cowboy boots?
I have chewed tobacco while training.
Ooh, that's grizzled.
And had the straw.
That's grizzled.
And had the straw thing with the thingy. I don't even know what that means. That's good for audio, right? If I just go the straw thing with the thingy.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Who's a cowboy? Who knows what I'm talking about? What's that?
Tumbleweed?
Piece of weed?
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're not talking about that here.
Barley?
Right? Okay. A weed straw.
Yeah.
Which could mean something completely different here in California.
Wheat.
Oh, wheat straw. Sorry, thank you, sir. Kendrick.
Yes.
Yeah, this went all right.
What's that?
This went all right.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I don't know, I just sat here and kind of mumbled a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. At least the weather's nice, and I don't know, you guys were polite enough. So
Yeah,
thanks.
they really were.
Yeah.
Brian, where's plug up your school and stuff, would you?
Oh, yeah, hey, come learn how to wrestle for me. I'll teach you how to lock up and throw drop kicks and cut promos and all that jazz. BK School PW at gmail.com.
BK School
Of PW.
of PW at gmail.com.
PW stands for Pro Wrestling.
Thank you.
BK
And
for
Twitter
Brian Kendrick.
is
Same thing. BK School PW.
BK School PW. Brian Kendrick, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hey.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks for having me, gang.
bud. All right, sorry to sneak in the middle of the episode here, but I want to tell you about a company who's helping sponsor this podcast this week, and it's a great company, one of my favorites. It's Harry's. I was the guy who hated to have to spend all of his money at the store. I'm sure you guys know me well enough to know that. But that's all changed, because now, just like everything else, I'm buying razors online, and I'm doing it with Harry's. They're about half the price of the other big brand blades, and they ship to your door for free. They're also better blades. They're great blades, made in a German factory that they bought. They bought the German factory. Why pay $32 for an 8-pack of blades? Harry's will do that for just about half the price. The starter pack is usually $15. Great deal. Because you listen to this show and you're going to use the coupon code WRESTLING, they're going to give it to you for $10. That's a razor, moisturizing shave cream, and 3 blades. Normally $15. Use that code WRESTLING, get that $5 off. Hey, you can also gift Harry's too. Birthdays, Father's Day, anniversaries, whatever. Go to harrys.com now and get that $5 off with my coupon code WRESTLING. That's HARRYS.com. Enter the code WRESTLING. Get that amazing starter kit for only a $10 and start shaving better today. All right, let's bring up a friend of the show. You can see him mainly in Reseda, California, as he is the MC of ceremonies.
The MC of ceremonies.
Sure. And the commentator for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Excalibur will come to the stage.
Yes.
You think they would know by now to start kind of walking
I know.
already?
Everybody's just milking it.
Well, what else am I supposed to say?
There might be another masked man in Reseda you were talking about, so he was just waiting.
It's entirely possible.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Am I really a friend of the show? I'm a friend of yours. I'm a friend of Marty's. But am I a friend of the show?
What does a friend of the show really mean?
I think repeated guests.
I think just mean has been on and I liked you.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then I'm a friend of the show.
Debatable now.
Okay, yeah.
You're
my
an ex-friend
stock
of the
is dropping
ex-friend of the show.
precipitously.
You're a BFF of the show.
Thank you.
I wouldn't say so.
Oh, okay.
Any other French puns I could throw in there, comedian Marty?
I cannot think of any right
yeah,
now.
that's why I pay you the big bucks.
Thanks.
My friend,
How's it going?
what are we doing here? Are you spreading the good word of wrestling at the WrestleCon?
Yes, I'm on a mission for my church.
Did you hear Oscar rap today? By the way,
I did.
Speaking of
was
missions,
that Oscar or was that Mo?
Oh, you don't even know. It was Oscar.
That was Oscar.
I thought he said it was Mo.
You thought it was Mo? I'm going to expose you for whispering to me, did Mo die?
I thought the same
Mo's still alive.
Maple's dead.
Yeah, but I eat at Mo's a lot. But that's a burrito place. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
What's your mission? Is it from God?
My mission is to come out here and to teach the people of WrestleCon that I am not Delirious or El Generico.
How's
That's
it
the
been
cross
going?
you bear.
It's been going quite poorly. I've had a couple run-ins this weekend where one gentleman yesterday he was like, "Hey, Delirious, can I get a picture?" I was like, "You can get a picture, but I'm not actually Delirious." And he just, "Oh."
He dropped his mic and walked out of the ring.
I would say, sure, $10 will get you a picture with whoever you think I am.
Then today I got, "Oh, you must be a really big El Generico fan." I said, "I am, but why?" And he's like, "Because you've got his mask on."
Sure you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
And to that I said, "Oh, so we all look alike to you."
Solid joke.
Some of that masked humor.
Yeah, I guess do you feel you're in a...
A minority?
No, but like in a brothership, if you will, with a masked men. When
A
you see
fraternity, if you will.
Like Aerostar was over there. Do you guys just put your heads together like Rey Mysterio?
Wow.
Like,
Please, don't be reductive of the struggle that we go through.
I don't know what that word means.
You know, it's something that we all know what each other faces on a daily basis.
No pun
And
intended. Because they're
Okay.
wearing masks. That's.
I don't even know what he said.
Thank you, Brendan. You get me.
This is going exceedingly well. Sure. But yes, it's a struggle that we all know. We all know what each of us face, and that one day.
Oh, no pun intended. Nice. Got it.
We will be treated with equal respect and equal citizens of the maskless of the United States and the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were supposed to say another head joke, and I was going to say no pun intended again. You dropped the ball on that one. It's okay. Sometimes we need a bit of a heads up in this situation.
To reveal our true selves. Something like that, maybe.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Okay.
Yeah, I meant it.
Audience not intended or amused. I'll say that much.
Well, they expected Delirious to come out,
Right.
And they're very upset.
I'm sorry about that. How's the action of PWG as of late? I know it's nuts.
It's been going exceedingly well. This is our best year basically ever. Best last 12 months. It's bigger than it's ever been. People are into it from all over the place. They're flying from New York, from Europe, just to go to a single show. Not even when we have like big weekend events or anything. And it's insane. And everybody's asking, when are we going to move to a bigger venue? And the answer is, I don't know. It's as long as we can keep selling this place out and keep the atmosphere. That's
You're
what we
scared if you move to another place, the atmosphere goes?
Yeah, it's definitely a big fear. Like, when we did Wrestle Reunion a few years ago, it was a PWG show, but it was in this giant ballroom, and there was great matches, great guys on the show, but it didn't necessarily feel like PWG just because it was in this big cavernous ballroom. And it's a hard atmosphere to duplicate, and that's part of what makes PWG so special. And so if we can find a place that's bigger but intimate still, then yeah, we definitely move.
So now, I remember we had a conversation where you weren't even using Twitter, and I was trying to explain you should probably use Twitter. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
As PWG the company, I think. And so I know now you advertise is that how you advertise when tickets go on sale?
PWG is basically all of our promotion is exclusively through Twitter now.
Right. And does I guess the trend is it sells out within 10 minutes or something?
Our first show of the year in February sold out in I think 6.5, and then this most recent one coming up next week, or April 3rd, is that's sold out in under 5.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we hold tickets back, and so we can sell them at the door for people that miss out. But yeah, the bulk of the tickets all sold out. Almost immediately.
What's your theory or what's your thoughts going forward? Almost because it seems too good to be true. I guess the way I think is it's all going to go downhill.
This gravy train is going to
Yeah, do you have that feeling?
Oh, yeah, totally. It could happen. And, the thing is as watching it from the business side of it is, you have no control. You can just put the guys out there. You can have the match, or you can put them out there in the ring and then just hope that they have an awesome match. And I'm always waiting for that other shoe to drop where like the guys just go out there and completely bomb. But luckily, it's just everybody is so hungry and they want to be there. They want to be a part of PWG and they want to impress that crowd in Reseda, and they just wrestle their asses off, and it's insane. Like I mean, we haven't had, and this is totally jinxing anything, but we haven't had a bad show in like 4 or 5 years. I mean,
Wow.
it's crazy.
Yeah, you can. Where's
you.
one clap? There you go.
Slow clap.
And so the process of El Generico moves back to Mexico. Kevin Steen decides he has to feed his family, and
He's taking a zoo cruise.
a zoo cruise, if you will. These guys, I guess it's the same. I mean, ROH had the same thing. I remember as Punk and Joe and everyone kind of left, and you have to find new talent, right?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty.
It's become a it's become almost an annual ritual for us now, basically. I mean, especially since WWE took notice of us, and I mean, I think we were always kind of on the radar, but like very low.
In what ways have you noticed WWE has taken notice?
when
of you?
Steve Regal shows up and is just like,
I'll take you. I'll take you. I'll take you. He became Australian. What was that?
but yeah, I mean, that's definitely when I mean, we knew. Because I mean, we I heard stories that they were aware of us. Our DVDs were floating around, but then when Regal actually showed up, then we were like, oh shit, now they're really looking for guys. And then NXT NXT was kind of existing, but then it really became modern NXT shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
And
Or PWG Light, if you will. But maybe PWG Plus. I don't know.
PWG with a much larger production
Yes.
budget.
I also like the idea of Regal's there, but like he's doesn't want to be noticed, like as a scout, and he's got like, I don't even know, he's got like a top hat on.
The tri-corner hat.
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
Blue Bloods. Yeah.
And he's trying to like disguise himself with a.
He's got his little cravat, but he tucks his cravat back into his collar
Yeah.
so nobody sees it.
I'm just a man. I can't do a British accent at all.
You really can't. You go straight to Australia.
I go straight to Australian.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we're totally happy for our guys to get called up because I mean they're not even our guys, but they're our friends basically, and so we can't provide them with health insurance or a steady income, and I mean our shows vary. We some years we'll run 9, some years we'll run 12 or 13, and so it's not like we can say, hey, you're going to earn X amount of dollars this year from us. It's just we give them the platform to get noticed, and then once they do get noticed, we're like congratulations.
Yeah.
We're happy to see you go.
Well, you can give them the idea that maybe a producer might be in there and might give them like a part in a commercial. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
Has that ever happened from there? Like, because there's LA dudes that are
Yeah,
flying.
we get emails about casting and stuff all the time, but it's kind of I don't know. It's not like the PWG thing.
Right. I know you guys have shied away from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, like basically all publicity whatsoever.
all publicity. Fuck it, right? You're doing fine.
Yeah, we fill that building. What else do we need?
I love it. Tell me about your Twitter and all that stuff.
On Twitter at Shut Up Excalibur. You can also follow us at Official PWG on Twitter. Find the latest info about the shows. I want to thank all 572 of you guys that came up to me this weekend and asked when 2015 Battle of Los Angeles is. I still don't know. And yeah, so that's about it.
Anything important to get out there that I'm missing?
Take the Lord and Savior into your hearts. The Lord and Savior of wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
which is Vince McMahon, right?
No, it's Angelico. He's an angel. Get it?
Nope. All right, Excalibur, ladies and gentlemen.
Going out strong.
Shut up, Excalibur. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Please welcome to the stage Tommaso Ciampa's coming up.
Yeah.
Tommaso, you're sporting the right team.
Home team heroes.
You're pulling a real Mick Foley move, aren't you?
Well, yeah,
Right here.
That's what I'm doing right here in Golden State Warrior Nation.
Do you want to explain your haircut to this audio podcast?
I don't want to explain it to anybody.
Marty, do you want to explain this haircut?
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I've never quite seen this version of a mohawk.
What about
It's like
what about the
Mr. T.
sideburns?
Yeah, it's like you've got Mr. T's original mohawk, but then a little bit more in the back was taken off.
See, I called it right away. I knew it right away, right?
You got it right on.
Right away. It's Road Warrior Animal.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is here today.
Yeah.
Did you confront him about this haircut?
I think we may have talked about this once before.
We did, but this is the secret of the podcast. Nobody has to know that.
But this is part 2 of it, actually.
Oh, okay.
So in England, I bumped into him for the first time ever and thought, oh, I have to say hi to him and tell him that he is the reason for my haircut. Not only was he the reason, I actually had photos of his haircut saved on my phone so that I could show it to my wife and say, is this okay with you? And
Will you stay married to me?
he,
Can we go to Olive Garden together?
That's why
in
I'm
this?
not married. No.
well, I'm divorced now. No, he could care less in England. And I was kind of bummed, flew there all the way from the States just to ask him.
Just to show, right. He probably assumed you were just a fan.
Yeah, of course.
Big fan.
A fan in the back locker room in England with my tights on.
And shoulder pads.
Yeah.
and shoulder pads. And then today I bumped into him in the restroom. And
Great place to bump into him.
Yeah, so I figured this isn't the right time to ask him.
Yeah, you should say, do your pubes look like your road warrior? That's a good, okay. Sorry, go on.
So yeah,
That's like the mullet. It's like animal up top, hawk downstairs. Okay. Because that's a much easier way to cut your pubes, like hawk. Right?
So far, no luck with LOD
So you
love.
were like,
I didn't. I chickened out. Yeah. Animal, if you're in there, and you can hear this,
Animal!
please.
I want to see your pubes.
Yeah, so
How's life going, bud? We had a pretty deep podcast, and then you also went on Marty's podcast
because
too.
of your podcast, I went to Marty's podcast. I've
Yep.
actually still to this day get a lot of tweets and emails. I have some Facebook Messenger friends, kind of like pen pals
Okay.
on Facebook, who talk to me. For people who might not know
What
like,
Facebook is?
no, yeah,
It's
what
this
Facebook-
thing.
They said it was going to be the Facebook, but then they said no, just drop the, make it Facebook.
And that's how it became a thing.
So no, but seriously though, like since the podcast, which I opened up to Colt about depression and whatnot, I have like these pen pals on Facebook now essentially who talk to me about their issues, and I guess I give a lending ear and advice, etc. So I tell everybody, feel free to contact me anytime, Tommaso Ciampa or projectciampa@gmail.com. Clearly, I appreciate the applause. Clearly, I'm not, I can't speak on it from a sense that I didn't go to school to study about it, but I've had life experiences with it, and I'm glad that the message through the podcast has helped people.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Do you feel it's helped your wrestling situation, career, change? I was gonna say character.
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I think it probably has given a different image of myself to fans because I'm constantly in a more aggressive, intense / psychotic type of character mode. So maybe it humanized me in a sense. I think anything, not to put you over because I'm with you, but anything to do with you reaches out to a much larger, broad fan base than I can personally reach out to. So that helped for sure. Just like, when I was on the Wrestling Road Diaries for that little clip there, that helped too.
Really?
To this day, I still get that mentioned to me.
What was that? I call it, it's not your birthday, I think is the famous
Yeah,
line.
you have no soul.
And no birthday.
You're soulless and your birthday.
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right. So that's still, to this
That's
day.
a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing forever. So in that sense, yeah. And I also think that it makes everything I do character-wise that much more believable because the bipolar idea of me, whether or not it's true, it's definitely believable.
Right.
And sometimes I don't know if it's true myself. And I think in that sense, yeah, it's helped me. I don't have to pretend to be anything anymore because what I am, it can just be that, and I think it's unique in its own.
That was an Eminem lyric also that you just said.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like it.
Marty, do you feel you would be Tommaso if you were a wrestler?
Yeah, absolutely. That hair, I was just like, I'm already thinking how I would look with that haircut right off the bat. So
You do have sleeves though. I don't.
I
Have,
do.
I don't have any tattoos. Yeah.
I do want to touch on this though. You're one of these guys on the bubble of like, not on the bubble, but like you've gone away with a day job or whatever, and it's full-time pro wrestling, and like
Yep.
yeah, and like I remember that time in my life where it was like, God, can I do it? Is it stressful? It's like this pro wrestling is what's gonna feed me, and now my wife too, right? And I don't know if she's staying with me. I got this haircut. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of my
Animal
plate.
won't talk to me.
Yeah. The decision was hard. It came at a time when I had, in a funny side story, Trent Beretta, I kind of always say I owe my career to, in a sense that we went to England together. It was my first tour there. This was in March of last year. And going into that tour, I had already kind of made a decision that I was going to wrap up wrestling. I was like, you know what? I was, not that I didn't fall out of love with it or anything like that. I just had a really good daytime job. I was making really good money. We were, just got married, and I just felt like
You and Trent Beretta?
Me and Trent, yeah.
Just got married?
Yeah, in California.
Nice.
Yeah. No, but it's just like I just felt my life moving in a different direction, and I was accepting of it. And then I did that tour, and all of a sudden felt like, holy crap, when I don't have to work 60, 70 hours a week, and I can just focus on wrestling, this has become way more fun. And that was a 3-week tour, and all of a sudden I came home and started to really contemplate, like, maybe I have to give up the job. Maybe I have to, because what would happen is I would work 60 hours in 4 days. Every Thursday my schedule was 5:30 a.m. until 9 p.m. And then I'd hit the road Friday, and the road, you don't sleep on the road.
Right.
And like I would go on the road exhausted. I wasn't thinking about wrestling at all. And then by the time I got home Sunday night into Monday, I had to be up at 5:30 to go to work. And so I just, me and my wife had a long talk about it. And the idea of buying property in Boston, which is super expensive, or leaving the day job, buying property in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is way less money. And then, I could then wrestle for a living and actually pay my bills. And it was a big, big decision, but that's what we went with, and I'm happy I did it, man.
Good, yeah. I think we're all happy.
Yeah, we're happy.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Living the dream, as they would say, right? That's not something I would. God, I hate that phrase, though. Why'd I say that?
You know what
You
it
just
is?
brothered it up here.
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
living. It's funny. I was just talking to Mike Bennett about this today. It's like it's living the dream, but allowing the dream to evolve. Because the dream as a kid is to be Hulk Hogan, and all of a sudden, when you start to get into the business, and of course, and with comedy, like you see different sides of the business, and you see
The Hulk Hogan porn.
the Hulk
God,
Hogan
you beat me to it,
porn,
you piece of shit.
and you see Hogan Knows Best, and you're like, wait, that's not the guy. But you start to, your eyes open up to all this stuff, and you start to think like, well, maybe I don't want to be on the road full time and away from having. Maybe I want to have a kid. Maybe I want to see my kid grow up. And all of a sudden, independent wrestling is allowing us to do that, which is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Over these past few years, where you're like, holy crap, wait, so I can work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I can be at home Monday through Thursday. I can kind of have a real life, and that's kind of where I'm leaning towards now. It's like my dream has become different, and because of that, I can truly be like, yeah, I am living my dream because I'm hanging out with my wife and my dog, and we're hoping to start a family soon. Yet I can still wrestle. Like I feel like selfish. I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds.
And you could do that thing you wanted to do as a kid.
Yeah, I could do that thing, and yeah, of course I'm not. It's the maybe the entrance and the lighting and all that stuff. Maybe all that's not what it was as a kid, and the fireworks and the pyro. But as I grew older and started to wrestle, I realized, well, maybe I wasn't in love with that. Maybe I'm in love with this interactions and seeing fans and meeting them and hearing their stories and being on the road with guys like yourselves, and like there's nothing that can replace like just hanging out with guys who love wrestling and fans who love wrestling and just just enjoying the art of it and not thinking about like, oh my God, but did I shake his hand right? Did I say the wrong thing? Did I look at him wrong? And is someone going to be mad at me for that? Like, who cares? Like, as long as you're a decent human being,
Yeah.
let's just stop. Let's just be decent human beings. Let's just be nice to each other.
I think you're doing it.
Yeah.
All right, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso, where are you at on the internet?
Internet at Project Ciampa, Facebook Tommaso Ciampa, ProjectCiampa.com, Pro Wrestling Tees, all that fun stuff. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tommaso.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right, back in one more time. Want to tell you about the great sponsor, DraftKings, DraftKings.com. Earlier this year, DraftKings crowned the first ever fantasy golf millionaire. Golf's second major is starting next week. DraftKings is at it again with an event that's bigger and better than before. $2.5 million are up for grabs. Another millionaire will be made. DraftKings is America's favorite one-week fantasy golf site where you can win huge prizes every tournament. Whether you're a huge golf fan or just looking to try another fantasy sport, DraftKings lets you experience the game in a brand new way by playing to win $1 million. Pick 6 golfers, pile up the points, grab your money. That's it. That's how it's done. It's the biggest one-week fantasy golf contest ever. The event begins with the tournament, so choose your players before next Thursday's tee-off so you can celebrate like Ted DiBiase on Sunday night when you win that $1 million. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code WRESTLE to play for free for a shot to become a millionaire. Enter WRESTLE now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. Next is my Peruvian friend. FKA Evan Bourne, please welcome Matt Seido.
Yeah.
I'm bump in this ring.
No.
I'm taking a bump.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Coco.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Now, we just did a show, and we talked about all your Peruvian amazingness. Yeah?
Oh yeah, we did.
Right. Where you,
People love the response.
people love the response, or wait.
People love the response of myself to Peru, to the medicine that I got there.
And then
Yeah.
you told me yesterday you just went back again.
Yeah, so I had the time. It was 6 months, 7 months since my last trip.
Yeah?
And I swung on down to Peru for 8 days of spiritual healing.
Amazing.
Yay!
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you still find now when we talked, you had this crazy love of like how you're gonna the wrestling's gonna get better. You love wrestling more. Since we've talked, how's that helped?
I'm on fire, dude.
You love it.
I'm telling you, I'm really fired up. Like I get it. I feel it. All I see out there is potential. Like the guys I was on the Ring of Honor show with last night, everybody, you yourself right now are realizing your potential, but you don't know you're capable of even more too.
I am?
Like, I just see a lot, man. I'm telling you, this last time I was in Peru, I saw the future, and it's really bright.
Wait, what
for
do I
pro
have to
wrestling.
do?
2 things are gonna really evolve quickly. Things are going to pick up business for technology. So technology is a great way for wrestling as people who are independent contractors can really get to the masses and connect.
Yeah.
And it's going to be easier and easier for us to connect with our audience, and people are going to pick up on the vibe, and it won't be a matter of size and scale versus us. That'll be something we'll be able to conquer through technology.
And what's the second thing?
Oh,
I just got to do some more push-ups?
No, you look great, man. You look younger than ever. Let's have a hand for healthy Coco Cabana. Yeah, man, I can't just sit here and extrapolate on what's going to happen with the future of wrestling, but I have a general level of high optimism. I'll put it to you that way. I believe in it. I believe in it again.
Is why aren't you the shaman? Wait, that was a thing, wasn't it already?
Yeah.
John Morrison has nothing on you.
I want to be a modern-day Papa Shango. I really am, and that's where I'm headed. That's the plan.
Yeah. And then, like, it's so funny how that was a character, like, just like a character that people still kind of not make fun of, but like.
I still revere Papa Shango, and so should you.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
What would be your steps to getting into this Papa Shango? Like, what's the costume look like?
No,
it's got to be modern.
Here's the thing, man. I don't do gimmicks. I only do real. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not going to pretend to be a shaman. I'm never going to do some silly gimmick. I'm only going to be me, ever, period. That's it.
But you have to spice it up for
No,
show.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes,
Not
you
one
do.
bit. No, that's what you have been told your whole life you have to do. Man. But you know when you're you in the ring, that's what these people love. That's why they love your podcast, because you're being real. That's the beautiful thing, is it is real. That's the whole point.
You're saying wrestling is real.
It is so real. We're not holograms yet.
What do you want to touch on, Marty? This is where I go. What do I talk about?
Yeah, this was your question to Magnus yesterday. He goes, "What should I ask you?" What
should I respond to?
Hey, so you do the podcast with Cabana. You talk about things like ayahuasca.
Can I
and
do your
stuff.
podcast?
Yes,
too?
you can do my podcast. Did you like how I got the ayahuasca chant started at PWG for you?
Man, I'll tell you what, my shaman was really honored by that.
Right? Did you feel your chakra as you were in the ring when we were all chanting ayahuasca?
No, but I made sure to do something cool right after you did that.
That's right. Now, what has the reaction been when you went on Cabana's podcast and you talked about things where a lot of people would think, like, what is this guy talking about? Like, I'm sure Jim Ross would listen to that and his head would explode.
I feel so good about me as a podcast host right now, Marty.
Why?
Well, first of all, you were an amazing podcast host. I mean,
Yes.
you really, I really
Stop,
think.
this isn't-
No, because the main reason I've never done my own podcast is because it won't be better than yours. So what's the
Let's
what's
talk
the
about
point?
that. Because
What's the point?
in WWE, like when I started this, like, and I said this before, Seidel was like, he was one of the when we lived together. You were always listening to Dr. Drew and podcasts before, like I even started the podcast, and you were like hipper to it than I was in like 2008. Yeah, downloading it on iTunes and listening right to Love Line. Yeah, and so when
And Joe Rogan.
so when I started mine, you like. Obviously, WWE didn't know what a podcast was, and you were ready to make the move of being the first WWE podcast host.
Yeah, but I had nothing to say, or I didn't know how to say what was on my mind.
But I know you said you tried it and recorded episodes.
Yeah, well, there's one really great lost episode with me and Trent, and man, that
while
one
you were
was
both
good.
in WWE.
I think he had been fired then.
Okay.
But we were just friends and hanging out, and I was like, dude, we've been talking about this. Let's record a podcast because we both listen to the same podcast. And we did, and it was a fun interview. But that's kind of like an interview I did earlier this week, and I said, what's this for? And she was like, for myself, and maybe I'll do something with it later. And I was like, okay, but
Some guys did that with you,
yeah,
and you agreed to it.
sure, I didn't mind.
Custom podcasting. You've
questions
stumbled
were
upon
good.
a new business. in
Something
pro
to use
wrestling.
later, just like storage bits. But there's so much, like there's, I don't know. I don't mind getting some media out there. You never know in what facet. But I'm not going to release the Trent podcast because it's stupid. And we're like, oh, maybe we should cuss. Maybe we shouldn't. We were just thinking too much about it. It was just it's just working out the process. But I like being a guest. And then I have no responsibility either. I don't have to deal with the tech side or anything else. I just
you're
have
a great
to just let it
guest.
ride.
Full of energy, Matt Seidel. Am I right? Yeah.
Full of baloney.
And potential, Mohammed says. Cool. Anything else on the way out here, buddy?
Follow me on Instagram. I haven't checked it in about 2 days, but when I get a minute, I'm going to
Okay.
get on that. Matt Seidel, MATTSYDAL. My Twitter's still Find Evan. Anybody found him? I mean, God, I was early on Twitter too. Here's the thing: I was early on podcasts. I was early on Twitter. But what I realized is that I have fallen behind, and like, I got to get back at the beginning of the curve again.
You don't capitalize.
No,
You're
capitalize. I just haven't yet.
Oh.
It's a slow build. It's growing something bigger.
I could
We'll
see
see
you.
if
I
there's
could
some
see you being one of
stabilization.
those Vine nerds that has 7 million. You and King Batch.
But what's the point? Like that's not doing anything for anybody. Some 7-second Vine. That's not how I'm going to distribute my information. It's just not going to work.
Sorry.
I don't. Come on. I have had a Vine and it was horrible. Like one time I just animated my alpha brain moving around and then eating. It's silly. You guys are. I'm not funny. Like you know what I'm saying. I'm not funny like you. Like you did that stand-up show last night.
Well, obviously, I'm not funny, and all these people.
No,
are
you're hilarious. But at that stand-up show, they're like, "Hey, do you want to go up and do 5 minutes?" I said, "No, no. I know my strength. I love to laugh, so I'm gonna sit in the crowd and enjoy it."
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to do both. And so my final message will be, moderation is key.
Moderation is key. Matt Seidel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Matt.
But you made it sound like that was my nickname. Do you know what I'm saying? He made it sound like moderation is key, Matt Seidel.
Yeah.
Now appearing at booth number 6 at WrestleCon. No, it's Reborn Matt Seidel.
Sorry. Reborn
So,
Matt Seidel. Thank you, Matt.
My gosh. Thanks.
What a guest. Carlito and I were the only ones here at 9 in the morning, and he was like, "Oh, our nicknames became lack of options because we're gonna get a lot of sales here because there's nobody else. So lack of options." Colt Cabana and Carlito. Our last guest to finish us off and have a good time is as she's coming carrying a beer. She is the dirty one, ODB. Beer and heels. Marty, is this your kind of woman?
Absolutely.
Marty, why do you have a boner right now?
I don't. That's my genes. It's my genes.
Oh boy, I love boners. What? Whatever. This reminds me of my first indie show
This-
in a parking lot
yeah?
in Minnesota.
Who was that for?
Eddie Sharkey, of course.
Were you drinking a beer during it?
Probably. I was a shy ODB.
You were. I've known you since you were whatever. I've known you for probably 15 years now.
Yeah, I've been 15 years.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were shy. I mean, you're not like you are now.
I was reserved.
Do you? Hey, here's some. Like honestly, because I talked about this with somebody else in the media, and I was like a real. You're like Axl Rose. I don't know. All right. She has her sunglasses on. But
I was going for Bret Michaels, but
oh, sorry. But I really believe like they were like, what has wrestling done for you? And I believe that like wrestling has brought me out of my shell, and it's helped me with I guess finding who I am and being a little more extroverted. So like, do you think that you were almost shy those first years because that's who you were naturally, or you didn't want to sneak out of it and like? You were just waiting so you could be the real you.
Yeah, I was kind of scared to find out the real me.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, in high school and stuff, I was very quiet. And I actually got out of my shell. I worked at Disney World when I was 20 years old. I was your tour guide on the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I wasn't like bam or whatever, because I had to do the proper stuff there. So
what would the proper thing be, Marty?
The proper thing?
Yeah. A bam.
Yes.
bam. My voice was a little bit high.
And then just a little, like a little. You can't do that. Just like a little, like.
I didn't have the fun bags actually back then, so.
Which is the proper scientific medical term.
But no, wrestling has got me on my shell. Like it taught me how to like.
Wait, did you say? But you said Disneyland helped you get you out of your shell?
It did a little bit, yeah. And then once I got into wrestling, I was very quiet. I mean, I was ODB since the very first day I stepped in the ring. But I wasn't like this ODB.
Sure.
Well,
that was your name, but
Yep.
I mean, this is a whole thing.
Because my legs are spread. Hey, guys.
With the beer. How many number of beers is this?
I was actually number 2. So good.
Number 2.
Yeah.
And I would make a number 2 joke, and then I feel bad because there's a lady in the ring, but you would probably also make that same joke.
That's hot.
That she makes it hot.
That's keeping it classy.
Yes. What is this? So this is the real you, yeah? I mean, this is.
ODB is the real me. Obviously the volume turned up a little bit, but it's me. And that, like Seidel said, is like that's the best characters when you're real.
I kind of want to know what has this gotten you perks outside of the wrestling ring, or
Actually, it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you know, I live in an Airstream trailer. Those silver bullets. Not that silver bullet, buddy.
But we've talked about. I think we talked about this on the last show. You live in a trailer.
In the summertime in Minnesota. So I'm actually opening up in a few weeks in April.
Do you feel bad, like, because of the aura of pro wrestlers are supposed to be like, oh, we're all rich and we all have a lot of money?
I know.
Like, right? They always like in Vince's thing is always like, you should be a star and on this.
Yeah.
But you're like openly happy to say that you live in
I
this
did live in a
trailer.
trailer. Well, Airstream's a little upper class than a regular, fifth wheel or whatever. But it's gotten me out there a little bit, and I actually just came out with my own barbecue whiskey hot sauce, and so that's going good. One dirty bitch.
Oh, so that's I'm allowed to transition into a different world because
of wrestling. Because of ODB.
So you have your own barbecue whiskey hot sauce.
Yep.
Go on. How do you make? Do you make this?
I can't. Someone contacted me. We
Breaking Bad in the trailer. That's what I picture is you.
Really?
She's got the big thing of barbecue
in my
sauce.
Airstream. I never leave it.
So it's not you doing the dirty work?
No.
Oh, should I have not have revealed that?
I put the whiskey in there.
Yeah.
That's the dirty work.
The best is I would want to yell at Mustafa to not talk over there, but I think he'd murder me.
I want to see. Do you get calls for reality shows or anything like that? Because I would love to see you on The Bachelor.
Oh my god.
That would be the most amazing
like a redneck
thing.
version of The Bachelor.
Yeah, that would be the
Or I'd
best
be the
ever.
Bachelorette.
They
That'd be
have
fun.
that, don't they?
Well, they had Rock of Love, which
I actually tried to
You would
get
have
on that.
destroyed that.
back in the day.
You tried to get on Rock of
They
Love.
actually contacted me, and I'm in love with Bret Michaels.
who's not, right? He's the
Yeah.
coolest dude.
Are you?
No, I'm not in love. I think most girls who wear bandanas and have
What?
multiple. I think girls who wear bandanas and tattoos and bedazzled camouflage shorts. I
You
think
like
Bret
that?
Michaels is pretty great.
I've been wearing these pants for 6 years. It's nice.
Consistently?
But yeah, speaking of reality shows, I got the Airstream, I got that going for me, hooking up with ODB. Maybe I'll take it on the road, and never know.
Have the people of television or anything, what's the rules on playing with your boobs and your vagina on TV?
Ooh. Well, when I was with TNA, Spike TV told me I only could touch my fun bags for 3 seconds.
Like,
Are you counting as you're
Yes, I
one
did.
Mississippi? And you're like,
I was like,
is it one Mississippi?
2, 1,000, bam, bitch.
and then would you?
Yeah.
What was the rule on like how long you could go back to those things?
Yeah, I just kept going. I mean, it's a phase, as you all know in wrestling. Like, they'll get over it in 2 months.
Right.
And then I was touching them again. And
Marty had a touching his
I had
dick
a
on
face.
the
What?
face.
and then I was touching down there, too. And they're like, I don't even realize I touch myself sometimes.
Again, same
Why
thing.
not?
Same thing with me. I don't even realize that I'm on a train, bus.
Marty was touching himself.
I was.
He was telling me the story the other day.
What?
He was moving his junk.
Yes. Accident. I wasn't even thinking
You're
about
moving
it.
your junk?
Just moving. I call it moving furniture. Just rearranging. Rearranging the situation.
And then he said, "What was there? Girl
There
next
was a
to you?
woman who was like, "What are you doing?" Gave me a very weird
Maybe
look.
she wanted to rearrange something
Why-
down there.
That would have been nice, but she was disgusted with me.
Like, listen up, bitch.
yeah.
All right. So what's the deal now? Wrestling? You're
I'm not full time. I actually just started with ROH, Ring of Honor. Yeah. Yes, I wasn't there.
I
Don't
won't allow
worry.
that applause on this
How,
podcast.
how in the world did they? Who would think to pair you up with the Briscoes? That's just
It's a
like
match made in heaven. Like, holy crap. That was awesome. And I actually got to go on their farm.
Yeah.
That was awesome. We had 2 cases of beer, some Keystone Light, and there was a lot of guns.
Have you
Yes.
shot guns before?
No.
Wow.
I was actually kind of nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the world takes you as a gun shooter.
I would think you have a
Yeah.
gun in your purse right now.
I have something else in my purse. What?
Kind of gun shit. Yeah, it is a
It's
bullet.
not moving yet.
It's a bullet of some sort.
But I'm having fun over there. I'm not full time with them.
Okay. Well, what was shooting guns like? Take me through that.
Oh boy, because I remember when I first got in the farm, I was like, oh, here we go. I mean, their mom and dad was out there, their wives and kids, and I was like, what did I get myself into? And they're all just shooting the rifles. I don't really know the proper names for the guns, but they gave me like a handgun, and I was sweating a little bit. It kind of makes me nervous,
Yeah.
but I got to shoot it.
What'd you shoot?
Uh,
A
oh,
disc?
Oh, what did I shoot,
Yeah.
or what was I shooting?
No.
Just whatever, like a sign through the trees. I hope it was a sign.
A sign that says, "Please do not shoot at this
Something-
Briscoes" for the next door neighbors.
Yeah. Danger.
Well, that's great. And so it's just kind of part-time wrestling, doing some
Yeah, I
tendon bar.
bartend back home.
Yeah.
I like the locals. They like coming in, and they know me as Jesse, but they also know me as ODB, and they like hearing the stories and who I hang out with and drink with and stuff. And
Like I watch a lot of British wrestling, and like always in the old like 60s and 70s British wrestling, they'd be like, Steve Gray, a teacher on the side, also has now come to Wolverhampton to wrestle Johnny Saints. And you're always like, it's so weird that they wouldn't say that they're like full-time wrestlers. They would announce like,
Yeah.
but it's you're kind of a throwback. You're like, yep, I wrestle.
here I am.
10 bar.
Live in a trailer. I'm a bartender and a part-time wrestler.
I love it. I think it sums up wrestling
not,
perfectly. ODB,
It's-
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen. Yeah.
Here I am. All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and tell us where you're at on the internet.
We can't find any nude pictures out there of me.
Well, don't bother.
We've tried.
So don't bother going on the internet. Nah, I'll settle down. Unless Hustler contacts me, but no.
Living up to the character, hustler, not playboy. Hustler.
Hustler is
That is,
classy.
you know your character.
Yes. You can find me on Twitter, the ODB Bam, and that's me on Instagram, ODBBam.com. You can buy my sauce and all that stuff and see where I'm at.
All right, I'm going to buy your sauce, ODB. Thank
Actually,
you.
I brought you some sauce.
Did you?
Yes, it's in my snack pack here if I
Here,
can get
okay.
it.
I
Wanna
will take it.
Want to reach around there?
There you go. Give you a reach around.
The reach. Oh, the good old
Reach
reach around.
So she can sauce me up.
Yes. You like hot sauce, right? There you go.
Look at this.
So tell me how you like it.
All
if you
right.
don't like it, just don't say nothing.
No problem. We'll give it a plug.
All right.
This week's podcast sponsored by One Dirty Bitch Whiskey Hot Sauce.
You've got meat. We've got hot sauce.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
thanks, Jess.
Bye.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, there it is. Showdown. We're all done. Marty, successful?
I think it's a huge success.
All right, I'm excited. I'm excited to have you guys here. Big thank you to you guys here at WrestleCon 2015 for sitting in this car park
Cap hack.
in the car park.
Cap hack.
Let's thank everybody. Marty DeRosa. Marty DeRosa was here. Let's thank Brian Kendrick, Excalibur, Tommaso Ciampa. What else did we have?
Seidel.
Matt Seidel and ODB. Highspots.com, who are in here at WrestleCon, and they're the great providers of a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Masks, gear. This wrestling ring that we're in was built by highspots.com. Highspots.tv. Freight Train, the man Freight Train, is brought to you by Highspots. He is great. Go check them out. Also, onehourtees.com and prowrestlingtees.com, a great way that you can support your local favorite independent wrestlers. Marty has a store on there, prowrestlingtees.com/WWD.
Yep.
Let's thank them, right?
Thank you.
But tweakedaudio.com/Colt. Get some earbuds, over 30% off, and free shipping just because you listen to this show. And I want to thank Marty DeRosa for sitting next to me right here.
Thank you, guys.
Where are you at, Marty?
You can follow me on Twitter at Marty DeRosa. And at WrestlingWithDepression.com is the podcast. iTunes. Rate, review, subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
Algorithms.
I love it. Awesome. Hey, that's it. That's the show for today. We'll be hanging out doing the show tonight. We'll also have a live show at midnight. This has been The Art of Wrestling. For Colt Cabana, I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks. All right. This dude fucked up. So fucked up. You should go to bed. Yeah. Whose friend is this? You got to be embarrassed for this guy, right?